news coming in except for NASDAQ. The tech stocks that saw a decline yesterday.
Absolutely. In fact, it was a mixed day on Wall Street. The S&P 500, like you said, did slip about 0.6% to that 6,411 level, while the NASDAQ, like you pointed out, that fell 1.5% to that 21,315 level. It was dragged down by losses in tech and chip stocks. First up, like Nvidia, that tumbled 3.5%, AMD that dropped over 5%, whereas Broadcom that also slid nearly 4%. On the other hand, we had software major Palantir, which plunged 9%, making it the worst S&P performer yesterday, while Tesla, Meta and Netflix, they also came under pressure. On the other hand, the Dow, that bucked the trend, inching up 10 points to that 44,922 level, hitting a fresh record during the session, in fact, thanks to a strong move in Home Depot. Now, looking ahead, that is today, investors will focus on earnings from Lowe's, Walmart and Target for consumer insights and the consumer behavior in US. Apart from that, of course, all eyes are going to be on Fed Chair Jerome Powell speech at Jackson Hole Symposium later this week, with the markets pricing in 85% chance of a September rate cut as of now. So that's how the US markets fared overnight, and the cues that we're looking at as far as trade is concerned today later in the day.
All right, so that's how the US market fared. Mixed cues coming in from Wall Street, and important cues to watch out for the Fed minutes, especially that will come out today in the afternoon, and of course the Jackson Hole meeting on Friday. But as far as the crude is concerned, oil prices fell as traders weighed the possibility that talks between Russia and Ukraine and the US are likely to end the war in Ukraine. That could lead to the lifting of sanctions on Russian crude, raising supply. Brent crude futures fell 81 cents or 1.2% to close in at $65.79 a barrel, and the WTI futures for September delivery set to expire on Wednesday, that fell $1.07 or 1.69% to settle in at $62.35 a barrel. So the more active October WTI contract was down 46 cents or 0.73% at $62.24 a barrel. Now the prices have settled around 1% higher in the previous session. So, but this time round, we do see some bit of a moderation coming in on the back of the fact that the sanctions might lift on the Russian oil. So that's how oil is largely moving. And speaking of the global news, United States Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that Trump's administration is planning to increase tariffs on India further for its import of Russian oil. Now, he said that, and I quote, "We have planned to up